get rocking and rolling. Shabbat Shalom. And 1 minute? Well, I will follow your clock then. Plus, we'll give people an extra, at this point, 47 seconds to get in here. All right, so I think we will go ahead and get rolling. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom to those of you who are watching online. Welcome from wherever you are. And just in case anyone was uncertain, I am not the usual rabbi. I am filling in. I'm Rabbi Siegel. And I was here 2 weeks ago. I'm excited to have a chance to come back once more to share Shabbat with y'all and have a little fun and do some singing and praying and enjoy our entree into Shabbat and the weekend. So we are going to begin on page 11. And it will be the second song from the bottom, which is Ki Eshmera Shabbat. An old classic, which I guess is redundant. Ki eshmera Shabbat el yishmereni. Ki eshmera Shabbat el yishmereni. Oti leon me'at Beino uveini, oti leol me'ad, beino uveini, ki eshmera Shabbat, el yishmereni, ki eshmera Shabbat, el yishmereni, Oti leol me'ad beino uveini. Oti leol me'ad beino uveini. Then we will go backwards just a bit to page 2 for the lighting of our Shabbat candles. And just like last time, I will ask for a volunteer to come up and light our candles. Do we have any takers? You even get to hold the microphone. It's an exciting opportunity. Yeah, come on up. You want to come light some candles? Oh, we've got a taker? No, he's just moving. Any takers for lighting the candles? Going once, going twice. Hey, outstanding. I only made it to twice and not to 3 times. I appreciate it. So we're on page 2. And I think everything is all set up there. There you go. If you need help with I found it difficult to manage the last time I was here too. Yeah. So let's see if I can get it. All right. So the air air is blowing from somewhere to... Here, let me take these down. You got it? You're pro?
I'm the official lamplighter.
Perfect. We got the pro on the case.
Problem is, it has to melt. This one too.
All right. Excellent. And we can join together for the blessing. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, melech haolam, asher kitshanu, b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Amen. Yesher koach, nicely done. I can take that. So we'll continue now on page 20 for Lachado D. And we will be doing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And then, of course, for verse 9, we have the opportunity to rise and face the entrance to welcome the Sabbath bride. And so let's have a little fun. Lecha dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela. Verse 1. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad Hishmianu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shamo echad L'shemo tiferet v'litila lecha dodi Likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi Likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela. Verse 2, Likrat Shabbat. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha Ki hi mekor ha-beracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat chila lecha dodi. It's a mouthful, isn't it? Likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi Likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5, Hitoreri Kiva orech kumi uri Uri shir daberi Kavod Adonai elayich nigla Lecha dodi Likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi Likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela. Verse 9, we rise. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala Gam besimcha uvtsohola Toch emunei am segula Boi chala Lecha dodi Likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela Lecha dodi Likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabela. right, Nalashevich, you may have a seat as we continue on the very next page with a section from Psalm 92. There is a belief that way back in the day when the temple stood, that Psalms 92 and 93 were the primary psalms used by the Levites to kind of sing out from the walls of the temple to let people know that it was Shabbat. And so I always like to try and incorporate, one or two of those when I get the chance. So we're on page 22 for Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon V'hagid להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות ואמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלי נבל עלי היגיון בכינור מזמור שיר Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat Tov lehodot l'Adonai Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Ulezamer l'shimcha elyon Ulezamer L'shimcha elyon. All right, and then continuing on the very next page. Mikolot. So go down to the 9th line, in either the Hebrew or the transliteration. You'll find Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Mishpareyam Adir Bamarom Adonai. Those are all the words we need. Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishpareyam Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishpareyam Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Mishpareyam Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Mishpareyam Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Mishpareyam Mikolot Maim Rabim Adirim Mishpareyam Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai Adir Bamarom Adonai. All right. Continue on page 26 with the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabba Bi'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו amen. Continue on page 28 as we rise as best we are able for the Baruch Hu. And this version of Baruch Hu begins with the, originally the ancient Sumerian beep boop, which has been translated into the Hebrew equivalent, which is Yailai. Yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 yai la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Mevorach leolam vaed ha-mevorach leolam vaed. So at this point, and I think some of you may remember this from last time, we get to make a choice. There are multiple customs about what happens in terms of sitting or standing from here through Shema. One custom is that we just remain standing all the way through Shema. Second is that we sit down now and then stand up again when it is time for Shema. And the third is that we sit down now and remain seated all the way through Shema. I always like to give people options when they are available, so whichever one is either your own personal custom or the one that feels most comfortable to you, I invite you to sit or stand as you so choose. And I very much encourage you to actually do the one that feels right to you. Don't just do it because everyone else does it, whether it's sitting or standing. And then we are going to continue on page 30. And once again, we're going to be counting down the lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines again. Look at that. To where it says, Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. This is a version also known as roll into dark. And so I hope, if you are familiar with it, please, of course, join in with gusto. If you are not familiar with it, bob your head or move your body or snap your fingers, whatever feels right to you. And the English, in case you are new to this one, is roll into dark, roll into night, night becomes day, day turns to night. And then we jump to that Hebrew. So join in as you will. Roll into dark, roll into night, night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into night, night becomes day, day turns to night. All right, now we're going to switch to the Hebrew. Borei yom v'layla. Here we go. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into dark, roll into night. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into night. Night becomes day, day turns to borei, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei. Or one more, roll into dark. Roll into dark, roll into night. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into night. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Then we're going to continue on the very, very bottom of page 33. So under that little blue line, and if you will join me in reading together. Torah is what God has revealed to us and what we discern of God. Ideas and ideals, laws and mitzvot, our religious heritage. It unfolds our memories of Abraham and Sarah, of Moses and Miriam and the prophets. It is legislation and explanation, allowing questions that challenge, answers that inspire, all a quest for meaning. It is our way of life, a path for our souls, and the design for a better world. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. We continue on the next page, page 34, for Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Page 36, Nalashevich, you may be seated. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam B'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha lema'an tizkeru V'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'item kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, v'hiot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, emet. Continue on page 40. With Michamocha. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Start with Yailai. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Mi chamocha, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osei fele, nora tehilot osei fele. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la. V'ne'amar ki farad na'et Yaakov v'ga'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Blessed are you, Adonai, Redeemer of Israel. Continue on page 43, reading together the second paragraph on that page. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, who spreads a Sukkot Shalom, a shelter of peace over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Continue on page 44 at the top of the page for Vishamru. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael Odi le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Kisheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat la'asot et HaShabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom Hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash. Shabbat vayinafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat ledorotam berit olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat ledorotam berit olam. All right. Feeling very Shabbat-y. I hope everyone else is too. In spite of the 174 degrees that it is outside. All right, we're going to continue now on page 46 as we prepare ourselves for kind of the central prayer component of the service, the Amidah, also known as the Shmona Esrei, or simply Tefillah. A couple of quick things about this. One is that we will be on the even-numbered pages through page 52. The other thing, and this is specifically my own little, I don't know what, for the Gevurot, if you look on page 50, if many of you are already familiar with this, but at a few different occasions during the Gevurot, we are given the choice, once again, between saying Mechaye Hakol, which means gives life to all, or Mechaye Meitim, which means gives life to the dead. Like the I guess, original version of the prayer was Mechaye Meitim, which references kind of the messianic idea that when the Messiah comes, God will kind of raise up all the deceased, and we'll kind of zombie shuffle our way over to Jerusalem for a big barbecue, is how I've always understood it. And the Reform movement in its early days, and actually to this day as well, were really uncomfortable with that idea, and so they changed it to Mechaye Hakol, which means gives life to all. But in recent years, a number of Reform rabbis, just Reform Jews in general, have been wanting to kind of go back to some of the kind of undo some of the changes that have been made, and this gives us the opportunity to make an individual choice. I say Mechaye Meitim. I understand it in a kind of metaphorical sense of that dead doesn't mean like deceased, but dead means like in the way we often use it, where like extreme, or like, feeling, I feel dead, I'm so tired, or spiritually dead, emotionally dead, that just something is kind of lacking. And the idea that Mechaye Meitim, that God or prayer or community, whatever the case may be, can give life to us when we feel in that way, is why I choose to say Mechaye Meitim. But the idea of informed choice, which is the central element of Reform Judaism, is probably my favorite thing about it, and so I always like to bring it in when I get the chance. And so just wanted to put that one out there. So we are going to begin on page 46 as we rise, as we are able, for the Amidah. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Page 48. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor, V'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chastei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Nehem, Le'ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Meitim atah Rav le'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, Mechaye Meitim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al givurot, umidom elach, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata lehachayot metim. Baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hametim. Page 52. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Now, Leshevet, you may be seated as we turn to page 60. And, I've always found it interesting, I suppose is the right word, that we end this kind of central component of our prayer service with two prayers about peace, kind of surrounding a silent prayer moment. And I've always just found that to be meaningful, that at the very last thing that we kind of put out there as part of this prayer experience, of the prayer experience of the Amidah, is this hope for peace or wholeness, or just something to help our world be a little bit better than it is at this moment, or really any given moment. So I invite you to join me in singing together Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol et uvechol sha'a bishlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Baruch atah Adonai hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. We take a moment now for silent prayer meditation. We may choose to use one of the readings in our Siddur, our prayer book, or we may take this opportunity to kind of look within and draw out that prayer, that meditation, those thoughts and feelings that are most prominent for us on this Shabbat, most meaningful for us on this Erev Shabbat. We join together on the bottom of page 62. Ose shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 We turn in our Sidurim now, our prayer books, to page 253, as we turn our thoughts and our prayers to those in our families, our community, and world who are in need of healing, whether that is a physical, a spiritual, or an emotional healing. If you are thinking of someone in need of such healing and you would like to share their name with the congregation, I invite you to do so as I scan through the room. We also take this opportunity to think of the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who have been injured while serving this country at home and abroad, the men and women of the Israeli Defense Forces who have been injured while serving the state of Israel, all of the men, women, and children who have been injured from violence or oppression or while struggling against violence or oppression, and all those who have been injured in natural disasters in recent weeks and months. We wish all of them a refuah shlema, a complete healing, bimhera v'yaminu, speedily and in our day. We are in the middle of page 253 as we join together for Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So I wanted to take just a minute, maybe two, to just share a quick thought about the Parshat Shavua, this week's Torah portion, which is Balak, which is the comedy portion of the Torah, with all the talking donkeys and sword-wielding angels and just kind of general nincompoopery of Bilam and his associates. And it is Bilam specifically that I want to just kind of mention this evening. And there's two verses that happen not back to back, but very close to each other. They're both from chapter 22. It's verses 20 and 22. So they're kind of right there with each other. Because they raise what I think is an interesting kind of just issue or question to consider. And so I'm going to kind of put it out there and then hopefully maybe give you some food for thought as you go about the rest of your day or your weekend. So in the background of the story is the everyone's scared of the Israelites. And so Balak seeks out this prophet Balaam to come and curse the Israelites so that they don't come and, take over his spot. And so he sends emissaries, and Balaam's like, I don't know. And he keeps kind of upping the ante until finally Balaam's like, well, I don't know. Let me see what God thinks, and, I'll get back to you. And so in chapter 22, verse 20, that night God came to Balaam and said to him, if these men have come to invite you, you may go with them, but whatever I command you, that you shall do. Right? So God's like, all right, if you want to go with them, you can go with them. It's all good. 2 verses later, chapter 22, verse 22, after Balaam has, saddled up his donkey and started to ride, but God was incensed at his going, so an angel of Adonai placed himself in his way as an adversary. So within 3 verses, we have God saying, yeah, sure, fine, no problem, you can go, and then being like, I'm very mad at you that you are going. And I can imagine that many of us have been in circumstances with friends, with loved ones, with kids or parents or whatever, where we've kind of had that kind of experience, where it's kind of like yeah, you know what? You should do whatever feels right to you. You should do whatever you want to do, and then you do whatever that thing is, and like, I can't believe you did that. Why would you do that? I don't know if anyone in here has had that experience with the person sitting next to them even, but I'll let that one just sit there. But so I've always been bothered by this because it just feels kind of like a jerky move by God. It's like, yes, you can go. Now I'm mad that you're going. But Maimonides, kind of based on a midrash, I interpreted it slightly differently. Maimonides' thought was that God didn't really give Balaam permission to go, but gave him permission to exercise his free will. And I read that and I was like, that just makes it worse. To me, that makes it worse. Because, and again, my feeling has always been, if you feel a certain way about something, if someone says, can I or should I do this? And you say, you know what, it's up to you, then at that point you don't really, you don't get to be upset. When I was growing up, especially when I was like a teenager and in college, I would talk to my parents, and basically we had an understanding that was, don't ask questions you're not ready to hear the answer to. Because I don't want to lie, I don't want to lie to you, but, if you ask me a question and I give you an answer that's not the one you wanted, it's not really, didn't seem fair that then you'd get mad at me for that. So this feels like a very similar thing. It's like, God, if you didn't want Balaam to go, you had a perfect opportunity to say, you know what, this is messed up. I don't want you participating in this. Let them find someone else. But that's not what God did. God said, you know what, it's up to you. And then the fact that God didn't like the choice that Balaam made is, God kind of gets all huffy about it and sends angels with flaming swords and talking donkeys and all the rest. And so one of the things that I always take from this and that I want to encourage everyone to kind of think about is, when is a choice not really a choice? All right? And it could be something that we're presented with at home, at work, at school, just out in society, where something is put forth as you can choose to do A or B, but the reality is I want you to do A, but I'm also giving you option B in the hopes that you will still choose option A, that you will make the choice that I want you to make. But I've always found that kind of inherently unfair. And so my hope going forward is that if we are offering someone a choice, that we let it be a real choice. And if we are receiving a choice from someone, that we view it as a real choice. We can't control what the other person thinks or feels about whatever it is. If someone gives us a choice, that should be our opportunity to make what we think is the right decision. If it goes against what they think, okay, that's cool. Then we can have a conversation about it, about why they disagree or why they didn't just tell us what they thought in the first place. But choice is such an important value in Judaism, in culture, and society, and so I just want to take this moment to emphasize both the beauty and power of it, but also that it can be fraught with challenges. And so as we go forward, that we be thoughtful in our choices, both in making them and in offering them, and that we be intentional in the way that we go about talking with each other, whether it's a family member, just a person that we know from some place or another, or whatever the situation may be. So with that, we're going to transition to our concluding prayers, beginning on page 282, as we rise for Aleinu. Bottom of the page. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tet gidula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Page 287. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad ushemo Ushemo echad. Now, Leshevet, you may have a seat. As we turn to page 294 for Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, we turn our thoughts to those in our families, community, and world who, while no longer physically with us, continue to guide us, inspire us, and be a blessing for us. If you are in mourning, or if you are observing a yard site this evening, I invite you to share the name of your loved one as I scan the room.
Anita Strauss Weber, yard site, my mother-in-law, and Peter Allen Friedman, yard site, my brother.
Tony Font. As with our Misha Berach, we also take this opportunity to think of the men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who have lost their lives while serving this country at home and abroad, the men and women of Tzeva Haganah Yisrael, the Israeli Defense Forces who have given their lives for the state of Israel, all of the men, women, and children who have lost their lives to violence or oppression, or while struggling against violence or oppression, and all those who have lost their lives in natural disasters in recent weeks and months. For all of them, we say, Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a blessing now and always. If you are in mourning or observing a yard site, I invite you to rise at this time. And then if it is your custom to stand for Mourner's Kaddish, I invite you to do so at this time. We're on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, bi'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayed dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imaru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shmei dekudasha berichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'maru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Now, Leshevet, you may have a seat as we will continue with Kiddush and Motzi. And I know last time I did it. Any volunteers? Anyone want to lead Kiddush or Motzi? Yeah, sweet. Come on up. need the book? All right. Let me find it. All right, so.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinpilanu. Zikaron na'aseh b'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta, Yotanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, B'Shabbat kodecha, b'ahava uvratzon, inchatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Amen.
L'chaim. Yesher koach. Good job. Go ahead and take a swig. Excellent.
Yes, indeed.
You guys want to go ahead and do motzi while you're up here? All right. Hang on, you got one more to go. Ready?
You have the easy one. Go ahead.
For hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, te'avon. All right, thank you so much. That was awesome. So immediately at the conclusion of services, which will essentially be at the end of whatever this long run-on sentence turns out to be, we will, I believe there's a little snackage over in the lobby area. So everyone's invited to take a little something, a little bissel of challah or a little something else to keep you feeling groovy on your way home. And once again, thank you so much for coming out. It's been a real pleasure this time and a couple weeks ago to be able to, come and be a part of Shabbat with this community. And I thank you guys for being here and indulging my various bits of weirdness from time to time. And hopefully I'll see you all sometime down the line. But until then, Shabbat Shalom. Have a wonderful weekend and take care. Thank you for being here. Absolutely.